follow is a presentation of MRE UNO, Division 1. When you think of a good movie, there's two things that come to mind. The thrill of the climax, and sometimes you get goosebumps. Well, it's a little bit different because sometimes you get goosebumps from a good movie, and sometimes it's just a good slushie. That's what we're about to be dancing through tonight. This isn't winter, but we're going to go throw it back in May with a little slushie action. Let's start it off with the guy they call drip drop off the rain drop off the top drop. You like that one, because for drip drop, he's got to make it rain. Not just big drops. But he took a loss to Yepez, despite a crazy game against DJ, and starts the year at 2-2. This time he's more focused and ready to roll, as he plays a new gold standard in Goldie from D2 up to D1. Goldie's been through some thrillers against Peter Onjak, most notably. But now she'll look to come back with vengeance on this 8-9 line, where she's all familiar as the 8 seed earlier, and Drip was the 9. Drip was the 8, Goldie was the 9. Let's flip-flop it. Goldie the 9, Drip the 8 now, in a little flip-flop game. Get the sandals with the slushie. This ain't the beach, but we're about to make it happen in the movies. Turn the channel. Let's get it going. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Slushie region. Myth Pod. Crazy to say Myth the 1 seed, but that's where we're at tonight. Drip Drop versus Goldie. Going to be a good one here. Both players, a lot to look forward to. Drip coming in here with a lot of momentum in terms of maybe just on the stream, knowing this little environment more. Goldie as well, off the thriller environments as well. Should be a good one, but how crazy has this day been? We started it off today in the Soda region with a little pop. Ed Ziyama takes care of business over Allen 4-1, and then a postponed game, which will be rescheduled, thankfully, after hearing the confirmation from Camaro of what happened. So we wish Camaro the best. It will be rescheduled at some point. And then Logan Acosta. What a crazy game that was. Logan tries a power play in Game 7, almost to the end, doesn't get the job done. Acosta fights back, breaks a 444-day winless drought. That's a long time, ladies and gentlemen, almost 15 months. He moves on, and just like that, the winless streaks over a year continue to be broken. Ellison gets the job done. The drought is over. He gets the win over Andy, which was a shocker, as Logan and Andy moved as the top 10 players in the league. They are now no longer going to be there. And we'll have to fight come T4. Drip Goldie coming up right now. And we also have a split game. Clay Rogers will give you updates throughout that game in the popcorn region as they continue to pop off and make it happen. Ellis at 385 days for the drought, of course. Let's go over to that said matchup preview, here. Novice versus rookie. We talked about it earlier in the program. These two players, they both know the stream environment. It's a flip-flop of the 8-9. Drip was the 8 last tournament. Now Goldie is the 9, when she was the 8. So it's a little bit of flip-flop, half of it. But the only kicker here is Goldie did win this tournament last year in D2. Drip also had a really good tournament last year, finished 15th. So he knows a thing or two about T3, of course. So these two definitely know a thing or two about that. Goldie and Drip will come in here with the yellow 0 and green reverse. Novice on rookie battle, we all talked about and documented. Drip, he believes he should be a veteran or something, and I think he's going to have a chance to prove it tonight, which is the beauty of this league. Let's go into the pod, and the pod says this. We already have By Island. It's back, better than ever, as usual. But By Island will begin with Drip Goldie taking on the winner of this one. We'll go to Myth. Of course, Myth already locked into the Thriller 32. Then tomorrow, Lara Lamas. That should be a good one. Bright and early, wake us up. Seth Cole's first stream, 11 a.m. I'll be there helping out, making it happen. And then Toaster Steven, the last game of this pod, non-stream, 5:30 Tuesday. Of course, you're probably thinking, Kay, what the heck is that about? Didn't really talk about it in the last episode, or the last game, but we did talk about it in the last episode of the pod. We are moving to Ashburn, Virginia. The server's moving. That's why you're going to see a break of Saturday, one game Sunday, potentially one game Monday night, and then a long time before we get another game, which will be Tuesday. We'll fire it back up. That's why this round has been delayed and extended. It's been some interesting circumstances with that. But that's it for me. Joining me in the booth tonight, as we go to our main seat, is William Brought the Rock. Rock, good to have you aboard, my friend. Obviously, Drip Drop plays an interesting style. He has a lot of looks. He plays 20D. We always call him the FBI. I'm the CIA. And Goldie here, in a sense, right, coming off a great throwing game against Peter, stuck on this 8-9 line, trying to make things happen. What do you think both players got to do, considering this is a toss-up match, to get the win tonight?
I suppose that would be, just, like I've always said, conserve your best cards. Use them when you need to. Maybe adapt to certain situations and, go from there.
Appreciate you, Brock. Always got to control the fame, my friend. Always. Let's go over our two players. We'll start it off with Goldie, who'll be typing, then Drip will be talking. Goldie, good to have you back. Obviously, it was a little bit of a break. Playing Peter Onjak was a great series. Short did that one as the opening game of the round. I remember that one vividly, as Short told me it was a great one. That one went 6. You're trying to build a little bit more back in your tank, right? Trying to get some more games. This is Drip. You've never seen him, maybe. How do you try to play someone who you never seen, maybe never played? Does that give you a little bit of a leverage in a sense that, hey, I don't know what to expect, and you can play this one a little more freely? Or have you adjusted your mentality to say, okay, everyone's good here. How do I try to get an upper edge to get the Drip's mind? Now, Drip, I'll ask you this question. Obviously, not what you wanted against Yepez, but had a good round one against TJ. Some monster hands to boot. But you're back here, buddy. Not a great opponent in Goldie. What do you got to do to get your head in the game and also get the leverage on mentality, considering this is a little bit different school of thought, playing someone who just got promoted? Let me know. Let's see what Drip says. Here we go. Drip? Might be. You good? Yeah, I can hear you, buddy. Well, no, we can't hear you, but I see you unmuting and stuff. Might be an audio issue. Did you hear that question now? Okay, buddy. Copy. I'll fill some dead air. Okay, good. You good. Yeah, just try to adjust the audio set. We know Discord could be a little bit of pain. While we fill some dead air time as Drip fixes audio issues, coming into this match, Brock, we always talk about playoff games. I think this one's a little bit different compared to, let's say, somebody that was 1-1. I think, or 1-1, 1-2 and 1-2. That's a little bit more of the expected, in my opinion, playoff battles, the 1-2 versus 1. This one's a little different. Drip's got that extra win, so it makes things a little bit different. I mean, this is far from the first I played someone I never played before. It happened every game, in fact. I don't also think we're not knowing someone that doesn't necessarily create a struggle, because even if the users have clear players, sometimes, yep, you did play, who was it? Caesar, right? With Caesar. Yeah, that was a crazy game. So Caesar as well. Yep. And you played Peter, now Drip, for sure. So he's definitely been the ringer, obviously. We talk about D1 all the time. Mixed bag around here. Wait for Drip to come back and see if we can get his audio adjusted. But looking ahead in this region as we go. Drip Drop, right. You guys. Copy?
Can you hear me now?
Copy.
All right, what's up, guys? Sorry about that.
You good, baby?
Yeah, man. So Goldie, I mean, you talked a little bit about going into the novice versus the veteran class. I don't think I should be a novice, but I am happy to be here with the likes of a couple of really talented people. You're right, though. Yepez didn't end as I wanted it to. It never does, or in the 2 times it seems like it hasn't. So it's a chance now to show and back up the words, like I keep saying. I love being on the 8-9 line. At least I'm on the 8 side every time so far through T3. T3, though, you're right. This is the first time that I got to the Sweet 16 last year in my mind, and it's going to be the first time I get this year, too. So we're going to see it. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a great game.
Well, that was the second time, because, of course, that was the old T2 captain where we had the Discord debacle. Remember that one?
Gosh, how could I forget, man? Oh, you're so right.
That was crazy. That was Eli Gabrat, man. That's how crazy times have changed. It's unbelievable. Wish him the best. All right. We're going to get it going right here. Here we go. The ref today is going to continue the double shot of espresso, whatever you like to call it. Abion's our ref. Abion, you're going to do those most famous words for drip drop off the top. What do we got? Here we go. All right, Drip, let's see what we got. All right, Drip, how many cards, my friend? I'll take care of the business. What do we got here for your game one? Let's make it happen. Drip. Full send! Oh, boy!
Wow, right off
the
the bat.
fireworks. Brock, you ready for those fireworks? We're ready.
Boom goes boom confetti.
Boom! There goes the dynamite. And the confetti. Gonna be a blast screen, and my AirPod fell out. No worries, Drip drop. All right, here we go. Here we go. Red 3, Logan, who took that L earlier today. It was a shocker. Let's see what happens. We have 2-1 Clay in the other game. We'll get an update after this game ends. Or Short can just, nudge himself in there. I won't be checking much. We'll see what happens. Here we go. Drip drop. We'll start it off with the red deuce and the Zach 103. And now you got to think here as we double up. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
I was just going to say that Clay winning it, making it 2-1 over Rogers, and Rogers saying that he had Clay went on a big run to finish. I think it was a 6-bagger finish, and Rogers kicking himself because he had just top decked a +4 prior to that run, so he had the win in his hands. But it was a 5-card sprint, went 7 minutes, but Clay's up 2-1. Now they're in Draw City early on in a 7-carder.
Yeah, well, we know Rogers likes to play low. There's the initial switch off the get-go. Appreciate that, buddy, whenever. After the game finishes, of course. We'll go into the yellow for Rogers himself, Rocky Top into Camaro, who will reschedule. Into Monkey, into Radin. We continue to roll and go. Here comes Drip Drop, looking to roll off the top. He'll go for the reverse, looks for a double. Into Goldie, he'll draw, and now we'll give an interesting play. We know Drip is usual with this Brock. He likes to play the mind games and sometimes drawing on an action card to prevent anything in the back end.
Yeah, they've been. I saw a little bit of back and forth on the fade, but of course
Ooh.
now Drip having a draw, and then Goldie getting the head start.
There's
never
the
mind.
fade. Yeah, there's the fade we talk about. There's the fade into the blue, and early for that fade, Drip Drop playing a little bit of that aggression with a little controlled aggression with the draws. We'll see how it goes. And I'll go into a blue 3. There's the yellow back to her. So now, here comes a little bit of the mind games. Does Drip have any yellow? Let's see. In a Monkey this time. He'll go into
He
a yellow
does.
5 in this thing. Yep, great play from Drip. Goldie will go up to Camaro. And that's a clean play and a half. There we go. The classic. Into the Acosta runner. Congrats to Acosta on his win today, breaking that drought. The water's flowing. Let's see if it continues to flow. Here comes Drip Drop looking for a double. He got the double into a triple from Goldie into Leah's new card, and he'll finish it off with the C Sanford as we're tied up at 6. Devil's Wild on the scoreboard and the red 6. Red 0 sugar to Pat Johnson, and you can see it, Brock. The pace is starting to pick up. He's Drip with a +2 here.
Yeah, he's definitely going full speed ahead with his power cards, but let's just hope he has enough to grab the win.
Let's see. Nothing here, though. Nothing on this potential stall out from Drip. What's the red? He has the possession. But Goldie's going to stall out, too, and on her own card. We're tied. Here comes Drip. We'll play a green 9. Into blue now. It's 4-4. Here comes Drip now. Back and forth. Is it a race to the finish? Here he comes. Drip looking to load up here. Does he have something cooking right here? Drip loading up, taking his time, thinking about it. We know Drip is very wild and spontaneous. You could throw anything from a power play to a finisher right here. That's Drip. He likes to play that way. One of the few that does. Let's see what he loads up here. +4 blue skip. Here we go. Drip looking for check. Does he have it? No call out. Here he comes. Looking for the finish, or is it just to sign a check? Just to sign it. Okay. This is a big moment here, Brock. Drip gets the check. What will Goldie have in return? +4 back, and we got a resetter.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll resetter. Anything you can do, I'm going to throw as well.
Rogers evens it up again. It is 2-2, best of 3 going forward.
I appreciate that. We'll keep that updated. Here comes Drip Drop now on the red. Does he have any more on the red, or is that ammo return working? He will play clean. Another +4 from Goldie. Holy moly. It's a finisher? And did Drip use that +4 advantage? Oh my goodness. Nasty finish.
Yep, it's over.
That had to be off the... Maybe off the +4? Gotta ask. I'll ask Goldie. Goldie, was that, first up, that +4, was that a return? Good ammo return? Did you get some off that +4? Okay. So your thoughts on the mindset now in terms of just the number efficiency. You were trying to play a little bit more of a, I guess, number efficient game really, and then ultimately, did you just let Drip run the pace a little bit? You stalled down your own card there once, and he stalled down his own card. What's your thoughts on just the number efficiency and trying to play the pace game? The Drip, you decided to play clean there. Did you have a power play finish on the blue deuce and just wanted to play it all guns right there? Start off there. Double-edged sword. I've never been figuring I want to play a card. Yeah, exactly. See what Drip says. I put a point where you had to go back to red, and I had a 0 red, and then a red reverse, and then your own card. Yeah. I got you. We'll see what Drip says here. Brian, you got to think with the potential +4 finisher, sometimes Drip likes to throw a heater, but in this case, no. It feels like it better play the red than the reverse rather than go for the red reverse and red 0 because who knows if I'm going to... Gotcha. Understood. Oh yeah, on the power play, I never played God or watched good matches, so early finishers seem to be a thing I need to work on. Gotcha. Okay. So you got to work on a little bit of the adjustment. There's the seismic adjustment. You talk about the adjustments, Brock, and now Drip knows these early finishers exist. Boom, put it in the playbook. Try to go from there. Talk to me about in-game adjustments and how you want to approach an in-game adjustment, especially after a game 1 feeler, for sure.
Well, like I mentioned, earlier, using those power cards, you really need to, kind of keep an eye on those. You want to make, as I mentioned, you have to make sure you got enough to get through to the win. And it seemed like Goldie, just, had enough there at the end to kind of break through Drip.
We'll see. Drip is going to get the free choice here. It's always about timing. Timing is everything, and it's always going to be that way. I have many cards in my head where I need to start thinking about more aggressive, and sometimes it's a double-edged sword, there's no doubt. It's the beauty of this game. Oh, well, Abion, we're going to send it again. Oh, it's allowed. You can do it. Let's go pretty sure. All right, we're going to keep the send. You just had to start her up. Here we go. All right, no worries, Drip. Full send number deuce. Can he split the sends as we go into a red 3? Logan, of course, man. He's getting making sure that bot is basically saying, "Hey, you lost the game. We're gonna rub it in." Man, they're rubbing it. This reminds me of Aiden Smith. Man, bot does not forget. Keeps receipts. Unbelievable. All right, red 5 now. This is an intriguing moment here, bro. I gotta ask you, Brock, as Drip's gonna draw here on a 15 as we go to a red 2. Talk to me about the early draws because sometimes it can be strategic.
Yes, they can be strategic at times, especially when you don't really have as much of one of a certain number or certain color as you would like. And with that, you got to be, if you have a comfortable lead, I think it's kind of okay to maybe draw a little bit, just to make sure you got enough to where you can push forward to the end.
Green 6, yeah, we'll see. It's about playing that comfortability. It's going to be crazy. Short's unmuted, so I'm assuming it up.
Oh.
Let's see what we got.
So Clay has just gone up 3-2. Interesting nugget from this. 5 games played, not a single +4 played. I mentioned before that Rogers he'd mentioned he had top decks of +4, so it's not like they haven't had him, but they have not played a single +4. And Rogers also hasn't played a single wild. Clay has had 4. Low ammo game for sure, but in fairness, half of it's been in the low tier. That Clay just winning on the 11, and now Roger's going to go for a 6 to try and force a game 7 as we continue in the green here.
Drip's going to draw. Well, my thoughts on that basically is the last time Clay lost was someone playing no +4. That may be an ominous sign. Maybe just his games have no +4s. Could be, never know. But don't forget.
He
Blue
hasn't
Knight, back
had
to
any
this
either,
game.
though.
Yeah, that's the only difference. We go into yellow now as we continue to work us on the rainbow here of colors as we open up Pandora's Yellow 8, double Camaro. He also will take a little receipt today after his unfortunate excursion with his dog. Now we go into the Grim, the creator. Yellow 7, 1 down. Here comes Drip Drop, trying to maybe wager to some of those early draws and use them as profit later in the game. Down 4, we're going to get this down to 3 or 2. Here he comes. Drip Drop. There's the reverse, looking for some more. There's a double. He's going to chew into that lead, looking for a trip, and he's down in possession. Now Goldie going to fire with the 0 sugar in the pack. And Brock, that's just a quick burst from Drip there. Try to get the momentum back in your favor as it'll go blue. That's what you want to do sometimes. Get that quick burst and see where it can really roll into. As Goldie will go for a double.
Yeah,
As,
the
that
quick
is
burst can be a little bit of a double-edged sword.
Unbelievable. Into a blue wild from Goldie. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's got to be game. Yep. Yeah, no, it was working. Plan A. Drip, I'm going to have to assume plan A on that one, buddy. I don't think you had anything. I'm going to be honest. 15 backfire? I don't got anything. Got distracted there. No, I had a much better move. Okay.
Rogers evens it up in under 2 minutes on that 6 carder. What's up, Goldie? I think I did.
Yeah, the only difference here, I gotta say, I don't know. I think the only difference here is...
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Drip, what was your better move then? Because I'm looking at this as a Plan A game. What was the better move? Oh. Okay. I just got the text from the FBI. Okay. Okay, I see it. It's okay, no problem.
The boss is getting served.
In contact.
Boss is getting served by the FBI.
Yes, understood. This is yeah. Move. Okay. We zoned in on the target. Okay. Anyway, I've got to have a little fun there. Appreciate that, Drip. Well, yeah, a little NSA interference. Hopefully the feds don't come knacking. Anyway, appreciate that, my friend. Thank you for go from there. It was really spicy stuff. Real spicy. Anyway. All right. Anyway, let's keep it rolling. Abion will be the ref here for this one. Here we go. No, Goldie, no 15. Your first home game. What we got? 11 cards. So now Drip on the roll. What will he have?
And Clay is moving on in 7 power plays for the win on a 7-carder. That was straight Plan A. Very quick one.
Appreciate
he wraps it up. He will move on 4-3 in the popcorn region. He'll take on either Caesar or Gold.
Yeah, Coach going 7. I've only seen 2 game 7s today, but
yeah,
another game where
+4 as well, and 1-1 on the +4s for those 2. I'm crazy to see only 2 in the entire series, a 7-gamer.
That's what this bot does, Brock. I'm gonna go to you, man. Sometimes it can be low ammo, man, and that's the beauty of these games. When it's low ammo, You got to figure out how to win games on that for sure.
Yeah, if you're not able to adapt, to the various hands in these games, then you don't really have much of a chance at winning.
Coach is with us, but I'm sure he's got to write his quotes. Look, we'll get a live interaction a little bit later. I'm sure when he gets done with the quote. I did just check over to the game. Now we're back to our game here. Green 9. I'll analyze that a little later. Now Goldie, does she switch over from that green into something else? And she'll go into the something else with the end around of the red 5. Now Drip. How does he adapt here? Of course, down 2-0 early in the series. Trying to get something cooking. He'll play yellow 5. And now Goldie into the yellow 9. Here comes Drip Drop trying to find something here. What's he got cooking here? He'll go into the 3 down from Raycosta to Steven, and now the game starts to fluster as we go into Camaro, keeping it yellow. Here comes Goldie, tie game. Nine's up. Goldie looking for the run. Plays it cool into Brock. There you are, Brock. Now here comes Drip Drop. There's his own car off the raindrop, off the drop top. Goldie looking to fire in from the yellow 0. Brock, early so far in this game, couple fade looks, couple reverses. Talk to me about the mindset when you start playing those reverse skip meta. Try to get an advantage. There's a huge move right there.
Well, reverses, the combination of reverses and skips, just like with any other power card, can give you a bit of an advantage. But you also have to be careful about when you use it because, if you use it a little too early, that's, that might
+2.
kind of hurt you a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's going to stall the game a little bit. Blue 6. Let's see what will be in the M. Can Drip Drop off the top continue the momentum on this blue? That's going to be the key here, Brock, because when you're in this one color for a little bit, you got to know how to roll with the flow. And Drip's down a couple cards here. Blue 1 plays it cool into Peter, the gangster. See him on Saturday. Now Goldie looking for something on the blue so he continue to switch. There's the switch into red and the ghost. Drip will play it cool. Down 1 possession. Logan to Zach, and now this is the key, Brock. If you had those cards to control, you got to control now into green. Back to blue, says Goldie. Does Drip have an answer? He does, in the blue. What will Goldie have here in response? Check right there into a 9. Does Drip have any answer to finish it off here? Or is it Goldie for 3-0? What will Drip have? Down a couple possessions. Does he steal one? Can he steal a possession? Takes a chance. Just plays it cool. Is it Goldie for the 3-0? Or is Drip just trying to bank on no blues? It's going to work. No blues. It was clean cut precision from Drip, and now he'll have some momentum. What will be the momentum? No, nothing. Just draws. So they both juiced on the blue. Now it comes down to top decks, and there is none. We're going to draw City Brock. First one in the second. And now we're really going back. No one going to make a move here. Now they're going in the draw city into retro. There's the old GIF. Here he comes. Drip Drop. What does he get off this draw? crazy clutch move there to play it cool, not panic, and it worked out. Now it comes down to toppers. Ice in the veins for Drip, trying to avoid this 3-0. Goldie looking to get this 3-0 herself. Gonna draw here. Drip trying to get this into a game 4, down 2-1. And we'll continue to go in Draw City. And Brock, talk to me through this Draw City and what these players are experiencing, because this is the first time we've seen it all night.
Well, the short answer would be complete anxiety because whenever you're in Draw City, you're just waiting for that top deck to come through. Because if your opponent gets it before you, then you could be in trouble.
Should drop one up this time. Coach, you there? You got a copy?
What's up?
Want to help commentate a little bit?
Sure.
We'll get a 3-man booth. Coach, what have you been seeing so far? We'll get to your game and maybe an intermission. What have you been seeing so far from these two?
Back and forth so far in this game. I mean, like I said, looks like Goldie has possession there right now, but at the same time, he has the 2-0 lead, so it looks like Drip Drop has to make a little bit of make that Drip a little bit of a leak, you know what I'm saying, and get a little lead here.
We'll see how it continues to go as they roll and flow with the Reds now. The anxiety is what Brock said with the Draw City, and there's the green wild. A little bit of a heater. Let's see what Drip does. He gets out of it just like that for a triple. Oh, now the classic. He's going to go with this is a classic Drip move. Stall it out. See if there's nothing in the back end. Does Goldie have a green skip, though? Nope, but a blue 7. Good move from Drip to play the ISO game, and he's just going to continue to play that. Goldie has more to tank. That's the risk you take with that ISO game sometimes, Brock. Here comes Drip. Let's see what he can do here. Strong back. And Goldie draws back. So that's the beauty of sometimes the ISO where it doesn't work out. You can go into a Draw City. And Coach, I think this is a win for Drip and solves a little bit of the case of Goldie trying to make a run as we go 8 minutes into this match.
Yeah, I think this is exactly the kind of momentum that Drip wants. He's down at 2-0. Can he stay on that long, dripped out, games and get the advantage?
We're going to find out right now because they're going to draw out here. And Brock, the Draw Cities, we talk about it all the time. When you're in the Draw City, it's put up or shut up, but sometimes in Draw City, as you said, it's just about finding that one connector, 2 connectors, and boom, the game can start to roll in your favor. When do you think is the right time to break? Do you think you have a card limit in mind, 10, 15? Or do you like to break it early? We saw Ellison today, doesn't care, just wants to break it whenever.
Well, typically for me personally, I feel it's best
Well,
to
there we
get
go.
the top deck because you don't know how many power cards your opponent has.
And
Yeah, I
there's
think
Drip.
no matter what, you got to hit the top deck.
Top deck flowing, top deck rolling. Gotcha. Drip with a double play. Goldie into a chance here in the Reds. Makes the break. Let's see what she'll do. You can tell Drip's just been playing more defense tonight, Coach. He hasn't been able to really get into that offensive break, other than maybe game 2. A little bit.
Yeah, you got to think what is going through his mind right here. Down 8 cards and an advantage. What do you do?
Man, this is tough for Drip. He's got to try to get out of another wild situation. Does he have anything in the back
What is he
pocket?
baiting? Is Goldie baiting him?
No, he's got nothing. This is big for Goldie here because Goldie wanted the green earlier. Drip's got to find something here. Let's see.
Down to 2 cards.
Does Drip have any magic in his hand? He's got nothing, really. Here comes Goldie, and that's game. Yeah, there was nothing he could do there. It's going to be a case of... Let's see what Drip says. I'll let him answer that. Yeah, it seems to me... Just trying to get a question here for Drip. The only thing I'll ask Drip other than the old wilds was Drip, because you have to play more defensively, you try to play into these draws, you did a good job flushing the wilds, you You really were able to play more clean, precise Uno. But do you feel it comes to a point where if you just don't have enough offensive possessions, do you feel the defense is just almost lacking to the point where you're just trying something and you can't get any momentum generated? Because you did a good job flushing a while, but unfortunately it's just monster quad plays and trips play from Goldie is just speeding up your processing. That's what it's looking like on my end. Doesn't help that I'm not playing. I think I just need to slow it down more. I just need to find the line between call. Yeah, and you look at the cards here, Rogers. A 7-1 on +4 zone. That's a tough pill to swallow for Drip because that's hard to come back from. But he's doing everything he can with the reverse skip meta and hanging in there. We'll see what he can do to try to get a win on the board. Goldie, my question is you to try to get the sweep here now. What's been working in terms of the draw city? Have you been able to find a little bit more connectors, or are you just sensing because Drip just doesn't have any wilds? Yeah, exactly. What has been working? Do you feel the aggression doesn't matter? Find okay, the connector. I gotcha. Coach, how does Drip? Listen, it was ironically about a year ago now. He was down 3-0 against Seth, and he pulled off the reverse sweep. So this is nothing new for Drip in these positions. What do you think he's got to do to start getting back on the board here and keep it close?
You just got to get that first win. You get that first win, get some momentum behind you, and then keep building. That's exactly what you got to do. There ain't no questions left.
Appreciate that, Coach. Well, it's going to be Goldie's call looking for the sweep. Just no 15-11. What do we got here, Goldie, to finish this off potentially? Does Drip go to a game 5? What are we thinking? Free choice. Other than that, we'll go 12. All right, 12. Abion, put it in. There it is, 12 cards. Drip looking to get this to a game 5. Goldie looking for the sweep. Have not seen one today, only had the gentleman's with Allen. We'll ref it up with the Carson, moving on to the thrower 32. With no Logan start, he can at least get saved for now. Well, Coach, you got to think in this situation, there's two things you got to look for. Aggression is one, but for Drip, do you think about that power play just to get some momentum?
I think you have to. I mean, I know power plays are a sticky subject for me right now. I'm kind of upset about it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I think you got to use that power play as Goldie comes out blazing.
Blazing so far. It's taking forever on double commands. Interesting. What? No, it's fine. I don't think there's any problem with that. Nah, that's normal. I'll check. Brock, call the game real quick. I'll just check. Brock, call the game real quick.
Gotcha.
Here we go, back and forth between Goldie and Drip.
We got a blue 0. Blue 0 sugar.
Yeah, Drip with the
Imagine
funny
if
comment.
you dropped a card, it's just the bot fumbling the deck. Blue 9 from Drip.
Blue 9 by Drip. See what he can do here. Brock, what have you seen so far out of the two people, Drip and Goldie, tonight in their aggressiveness so far?
Well, I'd say Goldie has, definitely been making good use of the power cards. Certainly been conserving a little bit more than Drip has. So it certainly put Goldie at an advantage.
Yeah, everything seems good. No problem there. Thank you, boys. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
No, I didn't have time. I was just gonna help out, but then you got back.
Yeah, I'm good now.
You're good. Yeah, you sir.
Yeah, nothing wrong on that end. I don't know. But listen, I do. Well, I guess we didn't even talk about that. We are moving to a new server in Ashburn, Virginia. There is a thing I do. I joined the actual server of the place I'm hosting it, so I get live updates, which is great. So I gotta check that server. But that server is all the way at the top of my Discord, and it takes a little bit to get used to. So I gotta probably organize it in another folder. I'll put it in a folder for my servers. But we'll go back to the game. We're looking forward to that transition over to Ashburn from Buffalo, obviously. Should increase performance is what we want. Here comes Drip, though. Back to the game now, Coach. And so far, pretty content for both parties. A little switching, but nothing really crazy other than Drip just thinking this one through.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very impressed with how Goldie has held it up. I wasn't here for the first two games, but Man, he's been on top of his game here.
Also, that's another thing too to mention real quick. Gotta get a 9 o'clock reminder. Sure, don't forget. I forgot 9 o'clock reminder if this goes along. Appreciate that. In case Jay can't do it, I'll be it'll be the Brock game. Brock and Nam coming up tomorrow at 9. The old Super League T5 battle from last year as we go yellow 5-3. Looking forward to it, sir. All right, now Drip. Let's see what he can do in the locker. So far, he goes for the skip. Here we go. Just a double. That's it. First play from Drip to go into a double play. Will Goldie have him return? Yellow 4, and now Drip's turn. Let's see what he can do. Goes into green, makes a little bit of a break, back to it. It's interesting. That's it. Now, oh boy, is this it? Back to yellow. This might be it, boys. I don't see a way unless Goldie doesn't have a finish. That might be it. Here comes Goldie looking for the finish. Drip went to the green. I don't even think wouldn't have mattered. No, can't because what do you call it? First power play was already been used. Kind of frozen.
Can't do it back to back.
Yeah, Drip. I don't think it would have mattered, man. I mean, if that was your only Drip, did you have any other play or nothing really to say? Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say, man. Looking at the stats, you definitely just couldn't really cook tonight. I think that's really the best I can describe it for sure. How do you try to bounce back in T4? Goldie, big win right there. Needed that to get back on track. You'll be playing Myth next round, but this game was just, I think it was plan A for that last game for sure. This series was just more to really just use a little bit of your cards, use a little bit of more of the aggression, play the pace. What did you learn when you got to play a quick player in Myth coming over? Yeah, you're playing Myth. He's on a bye. So first he steps away from the kitchen. So funny enough, I will be cooking tonight. Oh, God. Funny, buddy. That's a funny one. But your thoughts, Drip, on your thoughts on trying to bounce back for T4 Goldie, your thoughts on Myth. Really, clean. I mean, sure, I think that the question is your thoughts on playing Myth, and was the aggression working tonight to really get your steps and your progressions going for the next round? Sure, I just don't really think I have much to say in this game. This was a case of, I think Drip just couldn't have enough ingredients to cook with here. Just not enough. A lot lacking for sure.
Yeah,
Coach,
Yeah.
Go Brock. Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, I thought KT was asking me, but you know, you
Yeah,
can
go ahead,
No,
Brock.
you can go ahead, Brock. Yeah, go for it, man.
We got a lot of people in the kitchen. You're fine.
Yeah, to you, KT, I would agree. There's really not much to say. As I mentioned earlier, Goldie, having better control of the power cards, with that just alone, I don't, Drip just didn't really have a chance.
Yeah, Coach, I think I need to get a little bit more fluid with what I play and when to figure out how to control number cards. Coach, Drip basically said, he could have done better, but I know he's hard on himself here, but I don't really know. I think this is a case. Look at this. Cards drawn to cards played, 57 to 52. That's not much wiggle room. I hate to say it. There's nothing you can really say on that end. What do you think Drip's got to do to come back in T4 and for Goldie, a big win there? Thoughts on playing Myth moving forward?
I just think Drip needs to get back in the lab, work on a little things, get. I mean, obviously, I think card luck is a huge thing to it. So let him. Card luck has a lot to do with it. In my game tonight, I only had two. There was only 2 plus 4s played. So, it's all about card luck. I'm not saying that that's all of it, but it's a big deal. I mean, but like you said, you have to get more fluid. Your confidence has to be high, and you could kind of tell in game 3 and 4 his confidence wasn't super there.
No, that's what he said too. Sometimes your mind is not in it. We'll see how it goes. Big win for Goldie though. Needed to get out of that funk and takes care of the business. We'll see how it continues to roll for her.
Interference for Drip screwed him over.
God Almighty, let's not go there. We'll keep it rolling. I don't want to talk about that. That's a little. We'll private moment there, but regardless, we'll keep it rolling, no matter what here. Well, let's go into the pod and schedule. Start off with the pod. And that pod is now complete. It will be half the pod's complete. Goldie Myth, of course, that's the beauty of Bond Island. Lose some people not playing. It's great. So Goldie versus Myth, the 1-9. We always talk about the 8-9 battle. Who will split, who will go. We'll see how that continues. Larry Lamas in this pod tomorrow 11 and Toasty Steven 5:30 Tuesday. Looking forward to that as well. Now we'll go into tomorrow's schedule. We'll start it off with Larry Lamas in the said Slushie region. Then the only non-stream of the day, interestingly enough, will be Nick and Monaco. We just saw 14C win Acosta, so anything's possible in that for sure. Seth Cole Yoshi at 3 o'clock. And that will be the boss with Ed on that one. Ed will be commentating that game. I'm streaming. Then we got, I believe it's Coach coming back here. Not Coach. Somebody's coming back for Abion DJ. I'm drawing a blank. That'll be the 8. That's Ed. And then Nam Bra. Who's that short? Who you got top? Who's Tapir? Okay, Tapir. Yeah, a lot of games. Sometimes you get another 5-pack here on store. We had a 5-pack today, but remember, we're supposed to have a 6-pack. That game will be rescheduled for another time. Nam Brock, candy, soda, candy, slushy, popcorn. We'll let that in the popcorn oven. We'll let the microwave cool off, or the popcorn maker if you got a fancy one at home, for sure. That's gonna do it for the night. Want to thank my man Notchner for EPing this 2 games tonight. Coach for coming out here. Fitzwater early here today for vintage 2018-19 reads. Those were insane. I loved every minute of that. William Brock here helping commentate. Want to thank the 2 players. Shout out to Goldie for the win. We'll see you drip back in T4. Goldie Myth, throw at 32. That's it. I'll see you bright and early, 11 a.m. We're signing off with Seth Cole making his stream debut, at least in movie May, the 11 o'clock game. I'm helping assist. Have a good night, and we'll see you then. This has been a presentation of MRE UNO Division 1.